Alrighty, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 9th of May, 2023. It was a fun day. A full day of gameplay streaming for the first time in many days. We hadn't actually had a full day of all gameplay since Friday. So it was good to get back into the swing of things with a full day of that today. The Level 1 podcast today, this morning, was actually quite fun because we had game news to talk about. There was stories about Starfield, stories about a possible new Nintendo console, rumors and the like that were swirling. So we covered various topics there, and we had time for some chill Q&A and interaction. Overall, it was a really good Level 1 podcast today that I very much enjoyed, so give it a look here on DSPGaming if you haven't seen it yet. In addition, we did a full-on stream of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, herein lies the rub with this game. All right, I played a full 3 hours of it today. We did an entire dungeon, which essentially was called the Forest Array, leading into a big epic boss fight and some big plot developments. That then led into unlocking some new abilities. So now we were able to traverse way better, and we kind of went back to the hub town and did some stuff there. And then we actually did 1 or 2 optional side dungeons and explored around to unlock new abilities. So by the end of today's stream, I had unlocked essentially some really great new combat abilities. I had unlocked way more health, way more force powers, and some perks that you can equip that also make you better. So I was like a big upgrade day, lots of exploration, lots of fun in that regard. Of course, there was also story advancement, which was nice. By the end of today's stream, basically where we're at, we're ready to leave the first planet of Kobo. But the funny part about that is you heard what I just said. We're ready to leave the first planet. The first planet. Do you know how long the playthrough is right now? 14 hours long. And we're just leaving the first planet. And I'm gonna wonder, how long is this game? I feel like they really messed up the pacing. Like, the first planet should have been an introductory planet to maybe just give you a few story missions and maybe 1 or 2 optional things, and then get you to the other major planets. Instead, we've been on it for, essentially like 12, 13 hours. That's pretty insane to think about. And now we're finally moving on from the planet. Now, sadly, I do have something negative to report. This game, even though it has now received 2 major patches, including one this morning that was 26 gigabytes in size, has not improved performance 1 bit. This game still has insane performance issues. The frame rate constantly chugs along and dips and chops up and looks awful. There's people who are complaining on my streams that they're getting sick to their stomachs trying to watch it because the frame rate is going like this when I'm trying to play it. That's freaking terrible. And even if you set it to the quality mode that's supposed to give you solid 30 frames, it still fluctuates. It's not solid. They still, in a week and a half of this game being out, have not patched it sufficiently to make it run well. In addition to that, the game is full of annoying bugs. For example, within the first 15 to 20 minutes of playing today, 3 major bugs. First, an enemy completely disappears off the screen into thin air. Second, I open a chest, put on a piece of equipment, and my game crashes. When it reloads, I lost 15 minutes of progress. That's the second time in the playthrough that's happened so far. This is leading me to believe it's going to be a running pattern of problem. And then number 3, I went back to that enemy that had disappeared. This time around, it didn't disappear. I actually had to kill it. And as I'm fighting it and I kill it, it floats and gets suspended in midair in a weird, contorted, floating death animation. It looks like this. It's like the game is good, but the game is completely unpolished. I described it well the other day. I said, imagine that you're someone, a hyper-intelligent person. You know someone who's a genius, right? But it's all book smart, because when they try to walk down the street, they trip on their own shoelaces and fall flat on their face. That's essentially this game. The combat is good. The story is good. The atmosphere is good. The puzzles and the level design is good. But the game runs like shit and constantly trips over itself and has a glitch and has a bug and has a game crash and has a frame rate drop. And it's like, what happened? This was supposed to be a AAA game, and this is what they pumped out for $70. It's embarrassing. The game's now almost 2 weeks old, and it still runs like dog shit. So, here's the thing. I really got to ask you guys, do you want me to continue with this playthrough or not? All right? Right now, the concern is time. Now, I don't want you to worry too much, because here's why. We're about to talk about my late night stream, and we're going to talk about the playthroughs I'm doing there. Both Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster and Oblivion are likely going to end within the next couple of weeks. These playthroughs are winding down, and likely we're going to have night streams. Since that's the case, we would have more time to juggle games. Right now, I'm playing Elden Ring and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, but starting this Friday is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's 3 lengthy games that I need to juggle, and if I only alternate them on daytime streams, I'm never going to beat them. I'm going to have to start using night streams and utilize those to make progress in these games. Therefore, it makes sense that if I finish these nighttime streams of Oblivion and Final Fantasy V soon, we have these games now be alternated as night streams as well, all right? But the question I have to ask you guys is, do you want to see me continue with Jedi Survivor? We've played for 14 hours. We're about to leave the first planet and head to the next one. For what I'm to understand, there's 4 more planets in the game, and apparently 1 to 2 of them are lengthy and 2 of them are short, okay? And people are even saying, yeah, the pacing's completely off. The short planet should have been first. The long planet should have been later. They did it the opposite. They screwed it up. So, what do you think? For those who are watching the playthrough, do you want to see it continue? You know, support's been kind of a mixed bag. There's been some days when support's good and other days when it's slower. So it's hard to read. Engagement, when I play this game, generally people are showing up and the attendance is not bad. So, again, it's kind of hard to read. Some of the people are adamant on these streams they don't want to see the game again. They're like, nah, dude, every time you play, this thing makes us sick to our stomach and it's just a joke. It's not performing well. You know, get rid of it. But others are like, no, you know, it gets better if you hang in there. There's a few people who've actually played and beat the game, and they're like, no, you have to understand if you get past these problems, when you start getting to other content in the game, it's going to get much better, and you're going to be sad if you don't play through it. So I'm kind of on a fence right now, and I'd like to try to gauge your interest. If you want more Jedi Survivor, I need to know. Whether it's leaving a comment on this video, leaving comments on that playthrough itself, I need your feedback because I don't know how else to essentially... Hold on. My throat is dry. I don't know how else to get your opinion. And I want your feedback and your opinion. So please, let me know, do you want more Jedi Survivor or not? If not, we'll focus on Elden Ring and Zelda for a while and maybe play some different games at the end of the month. But if you do want it, then it's probably going to be Elden Ring, Jedi Survivor, and Zelda all balanced and eventually becoming night streams once we get through later into the month. Okay? Fair enough. On the late stream tonight was the continuation of Oblivion Shivering Isles DLC. We made great progress. I think we got like 3 different achievements. Got upgraded in the Shivering Isles DLC plotline more and more. Boy, this DLC essentially is meant to be like super hard. For the way I'm seeing it, now I'm getting to dungeons where it's like gauntlets and gauntlets of all enemies with giant shields and swords that block everything you do. There's no healing items in the environment. There's hidden passages you have to find on the fly while you're trying to fight. It's really difficult. And I get the feeling this DLC was actually meant to be post-game. Like you were supposed to beat Oblivion first, have your best build, and then take on the DLC because, man, it is a very, very challenging DLC. However, I am enjoying myself, but I kind of talked to my audience about it tonight, and the consensus we're coming to is, guys, I've played Oblivion since Christmas. It's now May 9th. We are 5 months into the playthrough. At this point, we got to wrap it up. We're already 72 hours into the game or longer. I think everyone is feeling the game is kind of worn out its welcome. Not to say I'm not enjoying it, it's not good, but you play a game for so long, you want to do other stuff, right? So I think what we're going to do is focus solely on the plot of Shivering Isles to beat it. There's 3 achievements left to beat it, which essentially means probably 1 to 2 more streams. And then we're going to go back to the main plot of Oblivion, and we're just going to focus on that and beat the game. So I'm foreseeing another maybe 2, 3, 4 streams tops of Oblivion, and we're going to probably wrap up the playthrough. I'm in not a hurry. It's not like I'm not liking it, but at the same time, I really do feel like we need to start mixing it up and doing other stuff. 5 months is a pretty long time for a playthrough. I mean, hell, even my longer playthroughs of games like Skyrim and Fallout New Vegas, I didn't play them for 5 months, you understand? So I think it's time to try to focus on beating the game. Fair enough? Give those a look. Hopefully you'll enjoy the videos from tonight. And, you know, we're going to head into the home stretch. Now, I did something else tonight. I reviewed a movie called Legion of Superheroes, which is a DC animated movie that just dropped out of nowhere 2 nights ago on HBO Max. I didn't even know it was coming out. And I saw it in my app at night. I was like, what the hell is this? This is a brand new movie? I didn't even know. Now, the thing is, I'm a fan of the DC animated content. I used to watch shows like Justice League, as well as Justice League Unlimited, Batman, Superman. Like, these are all things that I used to always watch back in the day. So this was really nice content. I watched the movie. I loved it. So I've now reviewed it, and that review will go live over on DSP Reacts tonight, all right? I hope you'll give it a look, especially if you're into DC and DC animation. I have a good amount to say about this movie, but at the same time, I hope this will not overshadow that last night we did that tier maker stream on the Legend of Zelda games. It's done really well. If you haven't seen it yet, basically around 1,700 views in 24 hours since it released, which is great pacing. And I'm sure it's going to get more views over the next few days. Again, the tier makers seem to do really well on demand on DSP Reacts. They're some of the most watched content on that channel. I mean, that's almost 3 times as many views, if not more, than a standard like DSP versus the internet video. So that's cool. I'm glad that people are enjoying that content on demand after the fact. Please continue to give me your feedback. Leave comments. Let me know what your favorite Zelda games and least liked Zelda games are on that video. Thank you for watching it, okay? I'm off from streaming tomorrow. When I come back on Thursday, I'll have a new YouTube short that pertains to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. In addition, it's going to be a major Level 1 podcast recapping what I did on my day off and any game news between. There will also be a major stream of Elden Ring. We're going to be continuing on in the Imperial City and trying to wrap up the second half of it. Try to unlock that sewer dungeon that has the, all the optional challenging stuff down there. And if you remember, one of the versions of Moog is down there. And then we'll determine what we want to do next. Maybe Deep Root Depths. Maybe the Astal River leading to Noxtella. We'll figure out what's the next part of our playthrough. Okay, so good stuff there. And then on Thursday night, it's going to be Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, continuing on the late stream. I certainly hope you'll join me for that. It's going to be a great playthrough, and we're already into the second half. You know, soon, probably another 2-3 streams will be in the home stretch of that one, too. So thank you for watching everything. It's been a great week. A lot of variety this week, I know. Next week's going to be a heavy focus on gameplay with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming out Friday. We're going to do a lot of gameplay this next week. So if that's what you're in for, like, wow, I love the gameplay. It hasn't been as much because there's been so much React content. There'll be a lot more gameplay coming next week. Okay? Guys, thank you all for a very fun, interactive, engaged, supportive, and overall very enjoyable streaming week. I really enjoyed it. I hope you're safe. I hope you have a good day off tomorrow. I hope I'll see you all on Thursday when I get back for another fun week of new gameplay content. All right, guys? Thank you so very much. Have a good night. See ya on Thursday, and be safe. Peace out, my friends. See you later.